it being 6 o'clock, I'm gonna call the August sixth, 2024 meeting of the Conservation Commission to order. We are being recorded and broadcast and for future publication on YouTube and cable, etc. Accepting of meeting minutes is up first, July 16th, 2024. Were there any, I can bring them up if you want, but I don't know if anyone.
Motion to accept as written.
Is there okay, any other discussion? Alright, all those in favor by roll call?
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Williamson.
Dean and I.
Yorkland, aye.
Dan's aye, so those are approved. Alright, first application is request for determination of applicability for 8 Finn Park Road. Is there anyone here for that first specifically? Otherwise, I'm happy to discuss. Okay, I don't think I see one. So this is an addition. Peter, can you enable screen sharing, please? An addition on Finn Park Road. That's just kind of inside the 100-foot, but more so the access. Thank you. Will be within the 100-foot. So Demon Pond is over here. They do also need to get a variance from DCR, which they're gonna work through. But this hashed area in the middle is where this addition is going, so there's an existing garage that's closer, interior, and then they would come off to the left here to access the back and around. So they would place some wattles here, which I think was pretty appropriate. It's existing lawn area, it's pretty clearly defined, the edge of Demon Pond. There's this little channel that kind of comes down this way that kind of plops it into the 100-foot. So I went out there with the contractor, marked out kind of where the 100 feet is. It's right kind of at the edge of the limit, but they're gonna be kind of ripping up the side yard to get their equipment in there. So they're gonna place those erosion controls, and otherwise full foundation, standard addition. I think that's about it.
You say the addition itself is outside the 100-foot?
It's like,
Or just right at it?
it's like right,
Okay.
it might be slightly within it, but yeah, it's kind of right at it.
But the access to get there
Yeah.
will be definitely, okay.
Yep. And speaking of this was published and everything, right? So we can vote on this. Does commissioners have any comments, questions?
Yeah, I have no problem.
Alright, is there anyone from the public who has any comments? I'm not seeing any. So I'd recommend a negative determination, number 3, with the condition of the installation of erosion controls prior to any earth disturbing activity.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor by roll call, unless there's any other discussion?
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Williamson.
Dean and I. Yorkland, aye.
And Dan's aye. Alright, so that is all set. And I think this came through as a building permit, so I'll sign that off too. Alright, next, request for certificate of compliance, Jim Harry, 139 Turkey Hill Road, and another one too for 155 Turkey Hill Road. So 155 was the one we've discussed previously. We got the as-built with the markers on it. And they also submitted for 139 as well with a similar as-built. I didn't check if that required markers. That was the one that was right on the fire pond.
I can speak on those.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
believe there were markers required on the
Okay.
one with the fire pond, just the other one.
Yeah.
All the grass is growing, everything's
Yeah.
green, it's,
It looks good.
it was within the tolerances of construction, so.
We kind of looked at these previously, we were just waiting for the as-bills. There any questions, concerns on these ones?
No.
We can either do them separately or together.
So you did get the
Yeah.
stakeout?
Let me show.
We ended up having them surveyed.
Oh,
Julian surveyed them.
So they're from, this one's a little outside, but I think that's more than fine, cause the others are in.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So do we wanna do a motion to issue a complete COC for both 139 Turkey Hill and 155 Turkey Hill?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by roll call?
Clock eye.
Gentillucci, aye.
Williamson, I.
Keen and I.
Yorkland, aye.
Dan's a aye. All right. Jim, you are all set on those. Tamika will get those over to you. All right, our first public hearing, Brandon Management, 255 Main Street, Duncan's. Get some updates. I'll try and get it up here too.
Back to our semi-high-tech presentation. Anybody here interested in the Duncan project? Using the board, I won't get you so much. View, I guess, of it. I'm Dave Buchanan, representing Thompson Liston Associates in Boylston. And we received from Quinn Engineering the comments, addressed each one, and they have responded to the addressing of them. A lot of it was signage, the handicap parking in particular, the type of fencing to go at the top of the retaining walls, which is now gonna be steel instead of wood fencing, so that should be more durable.
Sorry, missed that. Where is that going?
The fencing,
Okay, and this, you said it's this.
in particular at the retaining walls, was a concern because of the height of it.
Okay, how tall fencing? Like 4 feet, 6 feet?
Whatever the standard DOT guardrail is.
Okay. Short.
What, 42 inches, 36 inches, I don't know,
It's 42.
probably 4 feet. I'm trying to visualize it in my head, what a standard
I
guardrail is.
believe Patrick said 4 feet in the ZBA hearing, cause that question came up then too.
Thank you. Were there any other questions on the updates, changes, and comments from Quinn Engineering on what had to be changed or changed?
So I think at the last hearing, I don't know what specifically, it seems like you put the bump out for where the outlet is, for the existing,
The latest drawing, which of course I don't have printed out,
Yeah.
has a bump to address the end of the existing pipe to add erosion control that isn't there now to, during the construction period, until of course that pipe is disconnected and shut off, sealed off at that point. And it is very clearly stated now, it was on the older plans anyway, it's been added to the comment about install and maintain for the duration of the work. The erosion control at the perimeter will not be removed until the Conservation Commission has taken a walk and is happy with the erosion control plantings and other devices in place before that'll come out. And it's specified at every stage of the construction that they will keep and maintain that. Which is standard practice anyway, but it's stated out right now. There's also a question, if you wanted, I made a very crude construction sequence. There's a question about the construction sequence and when those would come out. This is not something normally that we specify to a contractor. They gotta work from the bottom up anyway. And I know that having done them myself, the site contractor does the construction sequence of tasks because there's really only so many ways you can skin that cat anyway. This is a very just simple oversight of what a construction sequence on a job like that's gonna look like. And the erosion control is at all stages. There's no, as soon as you start digging, you put it at the lower extremes of the work. You keep it there, you maintain them, you repair them, keep them clean. Same thing with the nets on the catch basins. If there's a bad storm, washes some gravel into those, they get rinsed out again, replaced. To protect the excavation where the subsurface infiltration pond is going, so that on top of your rock you don't get bad material that won't allow the water through well. So that's kept clean too.
You need a few thousand yards of fill over there, don't you?
I don't know what the fill number is, but it's gonna take some, yes. Yes, to replace where that steep slope and the gravel parking area is now, to bring that out flat, yes. Yes, that's gonna take some fill.
Is that spec'd out, what kind of material it's gonna be or anything? How does, like, who monitors that, or
That's monitored during the construction, but it
are
is.
they spec'd out, is the material spec'd out?
It is
as-
spec'd out to be a suitable fill. I don't know how it's described in the plan. Yeah, there's a spec for not having compressible or organic and all the stuff that's gonna rot away and make sinkholes.
Is there a detail for the temporary settling basin, or is it just like a wrap-lined basin?
There is not. to
Just
my
really like a
knowledge.
hole in the ground?
It's a hole kept clean and with erosion protection around it.
Yeah, was that updated? I think we talked about some O&M plan needed some updates. Was that included?
I wish I could answer that. This is a tag team match where an engineer did the work and he went on vacation when I came back from vacation. What in the O and M was the question? Do you remember? I don't, honestly.
I think I forget if it was, I think part of it was catch basins. It was like just talking about removing trash and dog waste, but it didn't actually have like the long-term, or no, it was the short-term, I think. O&M sequencing hadn't really been included.
I will check that with the boss and the guys who put it together. I thought it was in the O and M plan, but I'll look.
I'll switch around with them.
And what is, never mind.
I think there definitely was some updates. I just hadn't checked it yet. Cause there is a pre and post that Tamika put on there. Yeah, that has, so during construction, it has erosion controls, silt sacks in the catch basins. If silt has collected halfway up, they need to be cleaned. Site entrance inspected, infiltration structure inspected. So I think that during construction, that was updated. It looks like a lot, so.
Yep.
And then afterwards, it has the landscape maintenance, impervious surface maintenance, and the catch basin maintenance. Okay, and the infiltration recharge system.
Good.
Okay, I think then that looks much better than last time.
Is there gonna be, do you designate a specific person to do this, the maintenance
The owner does.
on all this? The owner hires somebody to do it?
Usually somebody who is a site manager or property manager, depending on how his ownership is organized.
Okay, thanks.
That's why at this point, when they say, oh, put the name on the plans, we don't know who that is. Who's gonna be inspecting catch basins during the long term.
Yeah, that's usually one of the last things.
Well, and for the continuing time, then it's whoever their property manager, property inspector, again, depending how they organize their ownership of the property.
Okay, thank you.
So we put the name and number of the owner. He's got the responsibility, but who physically will do it, he'll designate.
Okay. This didn't require a CGP, did it?
I was just gonna ask that. Do you need a NIPD's permit? Did it hit the 1 acre threshold?
I'm sorry,
The construction general permit, does it hit the 1 acre threshold to require it? The BPA?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like it.
I think it's small enough.
I don't think so either.
Do we have like the total square footage of
That's
the
what I'm trying to find, lot area,
lot?
67,39.
It
It
doesn't need
says
it.
it's not covered by a NIPD's,
Okay,
so it must be under an acre.
Perfect.
Which makes sense, it's not a big lot.
it's not a big lot.
Okay.
And the added impervious is certainly far less than that, so.
Any other questions from the commission? I know Quinn also looked at the stormwater report and had no further comments on that. I think since the first iteration, they pulled back that outlet, so that's farther away, so that's good. They put the bump out on the existing discharge pipe before it's removed.
I did have one comment on the stormwater reports. I noticed that you're using two different infiltration rates in different parts of the calculations. I was wondering if you guys should just take another look at that, because the HydroCAD model uses 2.41, but your drawdown calc's using 1.02. And I think I saw 2.41 in your recharge calc, so there's a few different infiltration rates that are showing up. And I think your test pit log showed mostly sandy loam, I think. So the 1.02,
Sandy loam would be closer to 1.02.
yeah, so that definitely seemed appropriate.
That wasn't something Quinn picked up,
No,
Okay.
they did not. I checked their letter.
their comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't comment on that. Yeah, the logs show a lot of sandy loam. One test pit did show loamy sand a little bit deeper, but sandy loam above it.
So the lower number was for the re-infiltration?
The lower number was for the drawdown calcs,
Yeah.
and I think everywhere else, 2.41 was used everywhere else. For the HydroCAD model, recharge calcs. Yeah, I think it was just the drawdown calc that used the 1.02, but I was, based on the logs, I was actually questioning if 1.02 might be the right number for all calculations.
Okay.
It could make a difference.
They're well below pre-development rates, so my guess is probably not. But it'd be just good to verify, make sure.
Yeah, that should still,
I would guess you guys will still be okay.
it's not gonna make that gross a difference, but it's gotta be right.
Do you think it's something we should wait for?
Before closing, do we have any other open items?
Not that I could think of.
Okay.
Should we just condition it and say to verify?
We could condition
I'd be
and
okay with
then,
that.
and if necessary, then they'd have to come back for an amendment. Just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the chance you would take, so.
Yeah.
If we conditioned it and then you redid the calcs, you found things were different, you would have to get an amendment. Or you could wait 2 weeks.
Well, if you do it conditionally and it works,
You're
You don't
good.
have to see me.
Or, yeah, that's a third
Yeah,
option.
yeah.
That's, I
probably
thought
the
that's what I understood.
Would it also be an option if we condition it and it requires like a very minor update?
Yeah.
Would that need an amendment? I would think
No.
maybe we could do it as just,
A minor.
yeah. Cause I'm thinking if anything, maybe you need like an extra retainage or two.
Okay,
Worst case scenario, and I'd be surprised if you even need that.
I wish I could say that's just.
yeah,
Yeah.
We tweaked that thing to get it to fit where it is now.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
A lot of these projects are putting 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag.
Well, you find that you have to.
No, we have to.
Get creative.
We do, and that one has some creative outlet structures to it because of that. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm okay with condition.
were there any other comments from the commission? Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak on this item? Either on Zoom or in person? I don't see anyone. Okay. So, are we comfortable closing? Are you okay? Are you okay with closing, issuing,
Yes, with the
conditioning?
understanding that we check the numbers in
Yeah.
AutoCAD and make sure that it still works as designed, or we come back and talk to you about how it needs to be modified.
Okay. I'll accept a motion to close.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those by roll call?
Clark, aye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Keenan and I.
Bjork and I.
Dan's aye. Do we wanna maybe just do the issuance at the end, get through some of the public hearings, is that okay? Does that work?
Okay with me?
Alright, so we'll probably, I think that's really the only condition we can think of, but we'll do the issuance at the end after we get through the public hearings, but you don't have to say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Nice job, thanks.
Thank you.
Alright, so next, amended order of conditions for Susie Contracting, 23 Miles Road. Get it up eventually. Okay.
Okay, so, since the last meeting we had, a long time ago.
Where are we?
A long time ago, we're on Miles Road, and the whole situation was, this area was the area designated for the replication area for the work that was done in the roadway here. This is all done, it's all growing, it's all, really looks good. I don't know if anyone's got to go down there, but it's completely stabilized. So now, we're going to do this replication, and when we went out there, this whole area is like on the brink. So we were proposing that instead of going and cutting these giant trees and disturbing this whole area, that we will restrict this entire area, because this is all uplands according to our order conditions. We'll just leave this as untouchable and ask for not having to go in there and replicate, because it is all wetlands, or it will be really wetlands within the next couple growing seasons. And we have a report we submitted to show the plants and what we have. And also, on the flip side, DCR is also involved, because this is a DCR 200-foot zone and 400-foot zone and all that. And they just sent us a letter, what's dated July 31st, I don't know if you got that from the DCF. They're in favor of this, because what we're also gonna do is, on this side, we're gonna put some placards along the erosion control line here. That's our limit of work, just to say this is a wetland area, and we're not gonna, nothing's allowed to be done in here. And this is all upland, and this is all upland, but this will be the limit of work for this site, and there'll be some placards in and around to show, don't go there. And that's where we're hoping to have the board amend the order to allow us to do this.
Thank you. So I've been pondering this, figuring out how to legally figure out how to do this.
Oh, one last thing is that we kept it all on this, we didn't do this. This is not It was all gonna be on this piece of land. So the legality is it's under this notice, so
Perfect.
we're not touching that. It's
Yeah.
all on this lot.
Yeah, that, I think that would have opened a whole
Yeah.
can of worms.
Yeah, so we,
So the best thing that I could think of is just kind of carrying over the monitoring requirements. So that 2 years of growing, minimum of 2 years monitoring, so that we kind of have that paperwork justification and backup that the area has changed.
Okay.
To make sure that we can demonstrate it's at least replicated 1-to-1. So it's basically the same condition, but just kind of
Fine.
monitoring a different area.
that it's, yeah, that whole area will be
Yep,
wetland and
So we
I think
can-
you're gonna find it's pretty wet.
so we can compare with the report you just submitted.
Yep.
And then we can add in kind of inconsistency with DCR's variance then about the placards, et cetera, so we can make that as part of the findings.
Okay.
So when we're talking placards, what kind of
It
placards?
says,
Are they wood, they
a
steel?
little aluminum, this little tag like the DCI has or
Are they
if
gonna,
it's a forest, state forest, it says state forest, it's about this big, and it says,
Okay.
it's just nailed to a tree. That made them happy, so we say, okay.
No, I just, was wondering if there should be something more permanent, that's all.
No,
well, we can always condition, again, kind of like in perpetuity, so I know it doesn't really fix it, but it kind of gives us a little bit of teeth that if the tree is taken or
Well,
something
that's what
like
I'm
that,
getting at.
it's required to be
Cut the trees all
replaced.
down.
Yeah.
Nobody's
we're not
got no
supposed to touch the tree, because
Yeah.
it says don't touch it. Come on,
But in
Skip.
the case it
There's a
falls,
sign, the sign says don't touch it.
stuff happens.
Take down people's signs in their front lawn. right?
And when the wind blows, the wind will go around it and say, don't knock this tree down, because there's a sign on it. It's a beautiful thing.
I wish nature worked that way.
Condition that there has to be a duck on the sign.
Yes. I know we need an official Concom logo. Possibly with a duck.
So this report was in response to DEB's comment that they wanted additional,
Yes, that report is
what the plant
response.
species are, like what's the soils, and
That's all in
hydrology
there.
and all that? Okay, so this is like our baseline,
What's your baseline?
and then so next summer and the following
Yeah,
2 years, just to make sure it's all, nothing's
Still there.
changed.
and then we kind
There's
of,
not a camper in there or a.
I'd be impressed if it got there.
No more campers, Julie.
Yeah, and then that way, when they come for the COC, we can verify that it's at least the 1-to-1 and things have changed over.
Is that all DCR had to say was the little?
That was it, yep,
They're
they
good.
were good with it.
They like protected areas, so they're, great, wonderful. I did talk with Alan from GCR and he did tell me that he was set with this property, so
Perfect.
they were gonna do the variance. Any other questions from commissioners? I know we've been battling this one for a little while, but I think
Go.
we got there.
Yeah.
Is there any questions, comments from the public, either in person, on Zoom? Not seeing any. Okay. Do we wanna close this hearing?
Motion closed.
Is there a second?
Second.
If there's no other discussion, roll call.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson,
Keenan, I.
Bjorklund, aye.
Dan's a aye. Alright. I think we have one other hearing and maybe we'll do that quickly first. Alright, the next hearing, notice of intent, Brice Estates, phases 4 and 5.
Oh, Melissa, you missed the ANRAD.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So actually, I lied. Anrad, Jim Harity, Emerald Road. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I
boy.
skipped over.
Yeah, those will be easy.
Yeah, that one,
That's a really
we're trying
easy
to
one.
cut you, Jim.
I know.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, no worries.
That's-
Jared, Brian, and I met Julian 2 weeks ago.
Sounds right.
Some other weekend in the recent past, yeah.
Saturdays ago.
I think we just had
One flag.
one very minor change.
And I change it and you have a copy of it electronically.
I think it was a very fair delineation. I think it had some pretty good topography, which was nice. Julian, can you point out which flags we changed?
This one right here, it was up in here,
Thank you.
it was way up in here.
So we
Kinda had a
basically-
blip coming
Yeah.
out and went like that and we straightened it.
We straightened it.
That was it.
But we looked at this isolated wetland as well. I'll throw those in, thank you. Confirmed that it was isolated, you know, there's no real overland flow path, et cetera. I think we, hit up this area?
Yep, we walked down in there, and walked all the way to that little finger going in.
Did a lot of work.
And
Yeah. So this is a pretty
Then we walked
defined
right across that.
bank.
The
So,
dog was thirsty, couldn't
yeah,
get a drink of water through the
Got
wetlands, rolled in.
super muddy, yeah. So I didn't see any other revisions besides that one. I don't know if anyone else got out there, had any comments, questions? But, is there any comments from the public, either on Zoom, in person? This one's very riveting. Alright, I'll take a motion to both maybe close and issue the ORAD for Emerald Road.
So move.
Second,
All those in favor by roll call?
clock eye.
Chantalucci, aye.
Williams, nine.
Keenan, I.
York, aye.
Danza, aye. Alright, done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Alright, now since I skipped over it, notice of intent, Brice Estates, phases 4 and 5. So I think as we've been updated, the old order has expired, so they've resubmitted. I didn't see a DUP number come through.
I couldn't have begged anymore
I
either.
saw it, I saw it.
I don't understand why they didn't, I don't understand that.
So there was, I think, some comments from Judy at DEP wanting to demonstrate the kind of what has been outstanding that needs to be completed even from previous other phases as well, I think, to make sure that everything is in this most current notice of intent.
Not to interrupt, but I did do that. I sent a letter off yesterday.
Yep.
Right after she asked for it. Basically, Rebecca had outlined, I don't know, maybe 25 items that needed to be done, and there were like 3 left. And I just put them on the page that she had asked for, you know, mimicking what she had done. So I felt pretty confident that, you know, that's, and I know that's all, the only thing that really is left to be done in those other phases is just you know, on the stockpile, maybe put a little bit of seed, just cover all the erosion or all the places that it could erode.
So real quickly, here's the wetland. This is only a notice for the road. 100-foot buffer is actually not even in touching part of the road. So there's very little other than right here, right where that crossing, that's the big spot.
That's the only
But
place that.
most of the site is not even within 100 feet of the wetland.
Was there more like construction plans than this? Cause I didn't see like erosion
Yeah,
control
there's-
plan on this, et
there's,
cetera.
Yeah, I believe there is. Yeah, the whole
There's a
site.
full set in the office.
But was it submitted with this
Yeah.
notice?
Yeah, the whole.
Cause we just got the definitive, which I don't think really had,
That's right, there's construction plans.
well, that's just the crossing.
That's the crossing. It should have been. Let me just see what else.
Some specs.
Yeah. Technically showing the detention ponds. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 sheets, didn't.
This
That's
is
the
the end of
crossing.
it. Yeah, I don't think we have that.
How did that not go through?
Yeah, this is the end of it.
We brought you some hard copies, didn't we?
I've got the hard copies in the office, and then this is what Justin sent me.
So this is the hard copy, I can show you. Here's the detention pond on that side, and this is Pioneer, this road's already built. This is where it ends, right here, and we're looking to go like that. So these, you do have hard copies of this, I don't know why it wouldn't have electronically been. So even down here, this cul-de-sac, which, the low cul-de-sac, just the very end of it's within 100 feet. All of this is 100-foot line is the roadway itself. There's a little bit of grading here, but a good portion of it is, you know, we're within 100 feet in a lot of spots, but this is probably the closest. Right here's a crossing. And 100-foot goes like so. 100-foot buffer right there, like this, like this. So, yeah, you do have a set of complete, these are the plans that were approved by Quinn Engineering back during the whole process. I'll follow up and make sure you get electronic ones.
Yeah.
What's the date on that?
3/28/14.
October 14.
Yeah, 20th, 14th.
March, yeah. It was done a long while ago.
So Clea, I'm sorry, could you go back to what you were saying before about what the DEP, in the previous phases, what were they looking at?
Just there, we are finishing up the detention pond that's in phases 1 and 2. We're basically done with it. We have to stabilize it, basically loam and seed it.
Okay,
We're finishing up, the drainage is not open on phase 3 because it would cause a massive erosion because it goes down a big hill. So Quinn Engineering sent a letter to the planning board, said, and I agree with them, that the road is getting degraded because all the water's not going into the drainage, it's going under the road. So we finally got the pipe in to connect all the bottom part, and the detention pond's all done down there. And all we got is one more length of pipe, and we gotta stabilize it. That's it. That detention pond and that little bit of work, we just loamed the slope 2 days ago. So we have to, you know, again, just stabilize it. So that's really the only work that's left in those other phases. And we applied for a certificate of compliance on those phases. So it should be out of the realm of this. So really, and there's not much work in the wetland. It's just, even in the 100-foot buffer, there's not, the only thing we have really is that crossing. And, you know, that's the weirdest thing. I mean, they give you a 401 water quality cert, and there's not an expiration date on it. I read through that thing, and then they send you an email and tell you it's expired.
yeah.
And I said, well, how am I supposed to know? There's no date on it. There's no,
They did that to
there's
me
no
on-
expiration date.
I know, they've done it to me on many projects. Something changed, right, Melissa, that,
Yeah, everyone had to refile.
It was a construction general permit, and that's a federal permit, right?
But the 401 is issued locally by DEP, so that's what, I think that's what one of the changes was, so everyone had to refile under the new permit.
She told me people who had just got an approval a year ago had to refile. That's like a dumb rule. I mean, how do you get around that? But anyways, the arches are there, the footing, all the footings are there. We're ready to put the thing in, and we had to refile a new application to do the crossing that they already approved once, that didn't have an expiration date. So it's tough, but I didn't recognize, like, Glenda and Holden, if anything's gonna expire, she calls me. And she said, you know, she says, get in here and get it re-upped. I didn't know, you know, I hadn't been following.
Gary Domain from the state might have given you a heads up,
You could have.
but he
but I-
retired instead.
Yeah.
And that was
Gary.
it, cause if he was not retired, I don't think we'd be sitting here. I think he would've just been, look, you almost done, you almost done?
Yeah, we would have been, you know, I would have already probably had that crossing done by now. Now, what happens is, this is the best time of year to put it in. If I gotta wait and put it in, you know, let's say September and October, it's gonna start raining, eroding, it just makes things a lot worse, so. And what she told me was, until you have a valid order of conditions, we can't issue the 401. Now, their comment period ends on the 10th. And Judy told me that they would do their best to turn it around as fast as they could. You know, I mean, the fire department's on my butt, the police department, the emergency services, they want that road connected out to Main Street, and that was my intention, to have that pretty much paved by the end of the fall, which would have opened it up to all those vehicles. So I don't know what, or if anything, you guys need to get me moving on this order of conditions, except for the DEP numbers at this point. But if there is, just let me know and I'll get it for you.
I think definitely the electronic set of plans for the
Yep,
other
we'll get that. I don't know why
construction
that didn't happen, and that's why I
I-
have the old fashioned kind.
set. I
I
think
still do it this way.
you mentioned in your letter, you're still waiting for a report from Chris Lucas on the replication area.
Yep.
So part of what DEP had commented on is just kind of an updated status report on everything, on what's compliant versus not. So kind of getting more of an, I guess, as-built condition, existing conditions to compare to what was approved as well. So I think they're looking back, you know, to make sure as a whole the project is in compliance is kind of what I was getting from Judy's emails. And then part of it, so yeah, when you get, I think Chris's report, send that over. I forget what else.
So we had deposited a little bit of sediment in wetlands a few places. We cleaned it right up. Chris came out and looked at it. He told us, you don't have to do anything else. It's reestablished itself. It's fine. It's clean. And then he went and he did an inspection of the replication area, said it's growing fine. There's no invasive species in it. And it's been there for, what, 5 years now?
5 years,
So
at least.
it's past the inspection periods that you need to look at it. I think it's 2 years. So he was happy with everything, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but I was there and I heard what he said. So that's just a matter of him writing up the report. So I tried to call him yesterday, he hasn't got back to me yet, but. So we'll get those for you right away. As far as, she does have as-bills on the first 2 phases. Julian's working on the as-bills for the 3rd phase, but that's basically just a street as-built and a street acceptance plan. It's not really
Yep.
have much to do with the wetlands, but all that work is completed. I think what she's trying to get at is, if you don't have it on the new notice, you can't do the work.
Yep.
So I put it as much as information as I had on that letter, and there's only really, we've been working diligently on it. That other detention pond, the one in phase 1, it had so much silt in it, I had to clean it out. So, because every time, phase 2, the catch basins are open, and it's running into that pond, and it kicks up the silt all the time, and it runs it out the side, and, you know, so we've gotta really pay attention to that, so it would be nice to complete it, get it stabilized and be done with it. So those are really the only 2 things. And by the time everything gets issued and the appeal periods get over, all that'll be done anyway. So
That phase 1 basin is like the one on the left going up the hill of Woodside, okay.
it's huge. Have you
It
seen it?
is, yeah,
It's
that's the one with the float.
They made us move that, we had a detention basin in phase 3. And we had, the other detention basin that we did was underground piping. But it was 4-foot pipes, just a detention area. They were 200 feet long and there were 7 rows of them, right? $200,000 for the pipe. So Julian redesigned it to a detention basin, so there would have been 2 down there. But anyways, they
That's
made
all
us
done now,
move
too.
one, and it's all in. And they made us move one over to phase 1 and 2. And a lot of that water that was in those phases is coming to that pond as well.
Got it. I don't think I have any.
Do we need to like do site inspection or anything, or at this point, or?
And just the other, this is for the road itself. There's a lot of lots that he's gonna be coming back with, like
Yeah.
we always do, a lot of lots that are gonna be
Right.
re-looked at. But this is just for the main infrastructure for the road and drainage.
I mean, I don't think we need an official site visit per se for the commission, but for new members, if you guys wanna go out either with any of us, or even with Julian or Clee, you're obviously more than welcome to do that. It's a big project. I know I get confused on the phases where we are. But yeah, I think just as you get things, send them through. We're kind of held to DEP right now too.
Yeah, but you would think, so technically we might be able to issue on the 16th, our next meeting, if we have those file numbers.
If we have a number, yeah, get those plans. I'd say get the Lucas report. There's something else.
DEP comments, you never know what's gonna be in there.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, as you submit your as-bills to DEP for the superseding orders, just copying us on them so we can put them part of the file, since I'm sure that's gonna be their comments as well. Yeah, but in the future, they'll come back for the individual house lots one by one. And it gets a little boring.
So you're still waiting to hear back from DEP?
Just to get the file number. We've been emailing back and forth, and
Yeah,
I
I
keep
saw.
begging her
I read through 'em.
but she doesn't give them to me.
We're playing Brianna's desk, or it
Yeah, there we go.
could be on Rebecca's desk.
Well, they won't even tell me who the review agent is, so I can't even call anybody and haunt them. I don't know who to call.
Right to the top, you're talking right to Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've gone to Judy, that's,
Only time they've ever held
she's
it.
responding at least though.
Yeah, she is. And she gave me her cell phone number, so that's a
What? Right. Any other questions, requests, comments from commissioners at this time? We've got some more detailed construction plans, I think that'll help a little bit. Good. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak on this, either on Zoom, in person? Exciting, I don't see anyone. Alright. Unless there's anything else, I do a motion to continue till next meeting. August 20th, FYI.
So when is it, Tamika?
August 20th.
August 20th?
I'll second.
All those in favor by roll call?
Chancelucci, aye.
Williamson, aye.
Keenan, I.
Shortland, aye.
Dan's aye. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And then council
There's a
will-
whole bunch of these.
Oh, thanks.
Right, there's a zillion of them. Thanks, Cap.
Hey, they took a sign, huh?
Thanks, Clea.
I think it was Louis.
Hey, Julian.
Thank you.
Alright,
Turn it on, Glenda.
How's it going?
old and new business, wetlands concern, between
Thanks.
16 and 20 Walnut. Is there anyone here for this? You're here?
That's us.
Perfect. So we had just noticed that there was some kind of dirt movement, stockpiling going back kind of near the wood line, and there are some wetlands back there. So we just had some concerns, wanted to know what was going on.
So we built a mini bike course just for like little dirt bikes.
Okay.
And we brought in just some like clay material, so when we fall, we don't get super hurt. And yeah, I just didn't know about the river in the back.
Okay. Where is the course?
So I mapped it out on this. Can I bring it up?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did like a 200-foot
Mm-hmm.
line, and it's basically the blue line to the best of my ability.
Okay.
So it's like half in the 200 feet and
Mhm.
half not. I just didn't
Got it.
know the law,
Okay.
the rule, you know? You guys wanna see it?
So it's just like a loop.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's like a figure eight type
Okay.
thing.
Makes so much more
I'm sorry,
sense.
so where's the riverfront 200 blue,
The red dashes,
the course?
oh, sorry, the blue is roughly the course,
And this blue,
is the stream.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And you're saying,
there's-
and you're saying you took some measurements, 200 feet.
Yeah, this was on whatever app. I like listened to the last meeting and it said some website for the stream, so it's whatever that website was. I think it's DCR watershed map.
So you just,
It is
you
DCI.
created a trail, did you cut trees
No, it
to
was an
make the
open
trail?
field.
It was in an open field?
Yeah.
So you just bought some different material in
Yeah, some clay, so if
for
we
on the
fall-
course?
Yeah.
So this is kind of where.
What can happen is with the heavy rains, you know, that clay could wash and eventually silt and it's affecting
Yeah,
the
so-
wetlands, I mean, that's the,
After we got the letter, there's a stone wall across the back and the property like slopes up to the stone wall, but there's 2 holes through the stone wall. So I put a silt fence and like the hay in the sacks to block those 2 areas to catch anything that would wash
Yeah.
that way.
so you understand the concern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And I'd be okay with like maintaining the silt fence and leaving it there permanently, if that means I can leave it there.
Might need more than that, we might have to
Yeah,
file.
I think what we would probably request, and please anyone speak up if there's difference, an application, most likely, you know, kind of what you saw tonight, but I don't know what others think, but maybe even an RDA if it's that far away, but it is riverfront, so riverfront under our regulations is more of like a protected resource area, while other wetlands just kind of have a buffer zone, which is 100 feet. But riverfront is kind of, we consider part of it kind of like it is a wetland, like it has certain protections.
Yeah, so riverfront is a resource area.
Is a resource area.
Even if it's upland, if it seems upland. Is what I mean.
What do others think in terms of,
Well, and then we don't know if there's any BBW within there
yeah, it looks like there's probably some.
on the fringe, like we don't know how close the work is to a BBW.
Why not?
What's BBW stand for?
Bordering vegetated wetlands, so just your average wetland.
Borders for both 16 and
Mhm.
20.
So it's a
Yeah.
big hill
Yeah,
past the rock wall down, so it's really not wet. It's just a stream from the pond when it overflows.
There could be BVW, but it would
Yeah.
probably be adjacent to the stream.
Yeah.
Which means there's only a 100-foot buffer off of that. I'd be less worried about that, more riverfront.
yeah. What's the maintenance for it? What do you expect it to look like?
For the silt fence?
No, like the track, do you think you're gonna have to
Just-
bring in
just like-
more?
No, just fixing the berms when people run it up.
Got it,
Yeah.
So it's
understood.
done?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It was finished a week before, or like 4 days before we got the letter, but the letter was addressed to the old owner. So I didn't even get to see the letter for another week,
Okay,
cause it was addressed to the previous person and I didn't open it.
when did you purchase this?
Like April?
Yeah, March.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the property records aren't updated,
Yeah.
cause I was the one that sent it, and I sent it to the property
20.
record for the,
Yeah, okay.
cause it shows the same property owner
So
for both
We did a
16
private
and
sale,
20.
so I don't know if that's.
So do you live at 20?
Yes.
Okay, so it is still the same ownership for both, okay.
Yep.
Just wanna make sure. Yeah, cause it still lists Karen Germain. Interesting.
Should I talk to the assessor about
Yeah.
that then? Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Cause usually they're very quick updating those.
Yeah,
This was the one we got the COC request.
Yeah.
It was like 15 years after they built the
Yeah,
house.
yep.
And and that's probably why, 'cause the sale came up.
sale, okay.
Who looked at
Makes
this?
sense.
Checks out now.
Did you go out there, Brian?
Yeah, I stopped by.
Tim did?
I just drove by.
I did too.
We got a letter, you know.
For a call,
a
yeah.
random,
Yeah,
and I
somebody.
just drove by and I saw material back there.
Yeah, so we found out some person just driving by called the town, and that's how kind of we were notified, so they just wanted to make sure there wasn't filling or cutting of wetlands, et cetera. So when we went by before the meeting, it was obviously something that we thought needed some sort of discussion at least. I think what I'm hearing is most likely an application would be required. Just so there's, you know, records on both sides so that you have approval, you know, we have an ability to review, and if there's any,
So what would the application be that I gotta?
what do we think? There's 2 types.
So if we were to do an RDA, there is no order of conditions with that.
Correct.
That's my only concern with that path. So if we do an NOI, then we have an order of conditions, and that may be better.
We can still add
Can you
conditions.
condition an RDA?
Yes.
Kind of, but there's
Kind
no
of.
like closeout.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily something you can really as easily do like perpetuity wise.
I do have pictures too of like the stone wall and the silt fence, if you guys wanna see it.
I'm good, I mean, I don't need to see any more pictures. Well, I mean, I think I appreciate you guys coming in and talking to us, and I mean, that's the biggest thing, and we'll figure it out. Nothing's gonna happen, it's just, there's stuff, there's procedures, thank you, yeah, you know, that we gotta just make sure we both cover ourselves, that's all.
So I'm getting the feel more of an NOI.
Yeah, I think that would be my preference, because it's riverfront,
I
and
usually.
I think we want an order of conditions ultimately, and not just conditions through an RDA, through a determination of applicability.
Are we okay with not like an engineered plan? I think they've taken a lot of pictures. We can go out and document. I think this is
I
something.
think that's okay.
Maybe it's just noticed, it's just a mini bike track. I mean, that's the only purpose of it, if that's in there somehow.
Do you have any information on the soil that you imported to brought in to make the track?
So not really, I know it came from Bond, and it
Okay.
was just like a thick kind of clayey material
Okay.
that we could like pack down.
Would you be able to get info from them on what that material is specifically?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
I think that would be helpful, just to know, my curiosity is what's the gradation of that material?
Yeah. So
Cause if it is truly high in clay, that's something good for us to know.
Mhm. Okay. So it sounds like a notice of intent would kind of be the application, and not to throw Tamika in this, but I think Tamika can definitely help you through the paperwork and getting you on for, do we still have time for the next?
Yeah, I think I can make it happen
Okay.
for the next one.
Alright, cause I think we can get you on for the next meeting to just kind of keep this going. We really appreciate you coming in. This
You
is-
said that was the 20th or the 18th?
Yes.
And we always offer the Zoom option. If you guys can't be in here in person, I really appreciate you being here physically this time. But just
We're close,
just
we're close
FYI.
enough.
Yeah. It's the best part about being in town.
So if you go to the Concom page on the website, if you click on the email, you can email me there, and so just shoot me an email tomorrow, and then I'll walk you through the whole process.
Okay,
And we'll get
what
you
was
through
your
it.
name again?
I'm Tamika.
Timmy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tamika, do you have a legal ad deadline for that meeting, do you know?
Yeah, so it has to be posted in the paper 5 days prior, so I'd have to post it by next Wednesday, the 14th, and my cutoff with the TNG would be like by, I'd say, Thursday.
Okay, so
So
I think we can at least proactively maybe, as long as you email her tomorrow, we can at least we have to do like a legal ad in the paper. That just takes a little bit more longer, so at least she can get the information she needs to make sure we get the jump start for the next meeting.
we have to notify a butter
I was just
too.
gonna say,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
butter
we gotta do
notifications
butter
are
Yeah,
important
that's
too,
right.
for an
Am I allowed to ask if it was one of the neighbors that called?
I don't think
I don't think-
so.
They
No.
didn't tell us. No, they didn't say who it was.
A lot of times they
A lot of times we don't know.
Yeah.
don't wanna say.
At least the way you put it sounded like someone who was just driving by and just.
Yeah, it was very vague.
I talked to most of them and most of them didn't mind. There's just one neighbor that I haven't met yet. Just wondering.
No insight on that one, unfortunately. Okay, do we also wanna think about a site visit to actually see it?
I should just go down individually,
Would be-
drop
Yeah.
by, if they don't mind,
Yeah.
we'll drop by and take a walk on it.
So with this, like we had a similar situation in the town I work in, but it was ATV track. And we had like all the neighbors like saying that it shouldn't be allowed in town because it's too loud and disrupting. Have you gotten anything like that?
No,
So
so
it's
it's
kinda
for
loud.
like little dirt bikes, which are like 110s, so they're quiet. And we work like 1,000,000 hours a week, so we've used it like 3 times.
Yeah.
So is it just for your personal use?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
someone else?
Yeah, and then like a couple friends.
Like neighbors
if,
or whatever, yeah.
if I can get them to come over.
You have to
But-
bribe them with
sad.
alcohol.
I haven't had anybody complain
Okay.
yet, any of my
Okay.
neighbors, yeah.
I just wonder, cause that was,
And that's why I tried to put it to the back of the field, so it was away,
yeah, okay.
not knowing that it was in a river area.
Maybe you guys have to try it as part of the site visit.
I'm good on that one, thank you. This doesn't fit well on
That
that
would be fun though.
Okay, yeah, so part of it is, I think if you guys are comfortable, some of us, I think, just wanna put some better eyes on it, cause we didn't obviously wanna trespass on property without, you knowing.
There is a private property sign because there were little kids on dirt bikes driving by, and I don't wanna
They
get
got
sued.
excited, yeah.
So that's why you'll see
Okay.
that sign up there.
Good idea.
I think, yeah, we can either schedule something officially, or if you don't mind, I think a few of us might just drop
I
by.
mean, I'd like to be there if I
okay.
could be.
Yeah. When did Albag want,
So we were looking at either this Saturday or next Saturday at 10 a.m. He was available either one. So if you guys wanted to schedule the same day.
My brother gets married next Saturday.
do that then? Are you,
Not this
Saturday
Saturday, the one
mornings.
after.
are you available this Saturday?
Yes.
I
I just
Only
work
thing is it's
until
supposed to
11, but
pour.
if I had to leave, I
okay,
could.
no.
The only thing is supposed to be like the remnants of Hurricane
Oh,
Debbie
that's
on
right.
Saturday. So you're probably not gonna wanna do that. Sunday?
Maybe we should just like do individual ones.
Okay,
What time are you normally home in the
there we go.
weekdays?
Ugh, 5:30.
Or are either one of you home during the week?
She
Or are you
works
both?
late.
I'm usually later, so.
I
Okay.
can leave work though, if I had to. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Weeknight at like 6 o'clock is fine with me. I mean, most weeknights, I guess.
Same here. Usually busy on Saturdays,
I know Saturdays.
during the summer.
Yeah, Saturdays are tough.
Yeah.
Go look at a field.
Winter's fine, but not the summer.
Glenda's got plans.
I do. Got stuff to do.
Alright, what are people doing next Tuesday or Wednesday? 13th, 14th?
It's the Toe Jam band tonight. If anybody's wondering.
That's something too.
The only night I could potentially do is Wednesday the 14th.
Okay.
And I say potentially because you'll be flying home the day before and,
Disgusting, no.
yeah.
You never know, you might
And
have
you never
COVID
know,
or
you never know.
something.
Wow.
I hope not.
Just saying, every time people fly, they
Don't
get
jinx
COVID.
me. Thanks,
Alright.
Glenda.
I can do Wednesday.
Linda, you Wednesday?
I'm good, good
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Alright,
Wednesday after 6,
Wednesday?
yeah.
do we wanna do Wednesday the 14th, 6:30?
6 is good.
6
or-
is good?
Yeah,
Okay,
I could be home for 6.
alright, let's do that then.
I'll post just in case.
Thank you. I'm gonna put that in my calendar.
You guys want me to have the mini bikes in the?
Will you do a demonstration, please?
Charged and gassed up. Wait, what's the address again?
20 Walnut
20.
Street would get you to my driveway.
What are they literally doing?
It's the Toe Jam
It's the
band.
Toe Jam puppet band. And then there's an ice cream social afterwards.
Oh, we plan that one.
Oh, well, we better get through this agenda then.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is the 14th? Yeah, Wednesday the 14th.
Yes, sorry.
6 o'clock.
Okay. Alright, so email Tamika, we'll get you through the application, we'll see you next Wednesday at 6, if that's alright. And then we will go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you for coming in, appreciate it.
Thanks.
20 Walnut.
Alright, let's just do the other site visit quickly. So Mark Albach submitted an RDA for 8 Intervale. Do we wanna do that for the 17th, that Saturday, since we're gonna have a monsoon on Saturday morning?
17th at
10?
10 a.m.?
Yeah.
I think I can do that. I'm not around, but.
Okay. I'll send you pictures.
I can do this Saturday, but I can't do next
You
Saturday.
can't do next Saturday, right? Okay. Do your preferences.
Actually, I might be able to do, if it's at 10,
10.
Saturday the 17th, I think I can do that, I think.
The 10th or the 17th?
17th.
The
10th, the 10th is no problem.
Okay.
You're talking about the 17th.
The
right?
17th, yeah.
Yes, I think I can do
All
10.
right, I just confused myself, yes.
Sorry.
No, I confused myself, we're good.
8 Intervale,
8 Intervale, 10 AM the 17th.
Rutland's big.
For site walks,
I don't feel
are
like
we
that's-
required to have a certain number of people there?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, we post just in case we have a quorum. And that's it. So whoever can go. It's freaking me out, okay.
We're distracted.
Do we wanna go back to the issued permits? So we did Duncan's. I think the only condition we discussed was submittal of final stormwater calculations for compliance with stormwater standards. I don't know how else to put that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't even know what we're talking about. What project
Duncan's,
is this?
Duncan's,
Oh, Duncan.
sorry,
Ching, ching,
Two
ching.
255 Main Street?
Yeah.
255 Main Street.
is the clown singing over there distracting?
So,
We wanna shut the door?
We can't.
We can't, okay.
can we make a motion?
It's a public
Yeah.
meeting.
We have a motion to issue the order of conditions for 255 Main Street with the condition of the submittal of a revised stormwater report.
I thought we already did that.
Well, just not
No, we closed, we didn't issue.
We haven't-
revised
Stormwater calc.
stormwater calc
Yeah.
that, just to check that,
Yeah.
Compliance with stormwater
whatever he
regulations.
says.
Check the infiltration rate, verify the infiltration
To
rate.
verify the
Verify
infiltration.
the infiltration.
Yeah.
Or Tamika.
Okay. Motion, I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Black eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson,
Keen and I.
Bjork and I.
Dan's aye. Alright, that one's all set. 23 Miles Road for the amended order. Conditions discussed was the 2 years of monitoring for successful wetland replication mitigation.
That's a lot of IONs.
Yep. Um,
and we can make sure that they're maintaining their erosion controls along the driveway, cause it was getting kind of messy.
and submit placards along erosion control line in conformance with DCR variance
At the limit of work,
at the limit of work. Yep.
okay. And,
Is there something
are
else?
they gonna be like building a house there
Yeah.
at any point in time, or it's
Keep
been?
the conditions so that in 2 years, you might have said that,
Yep.
one. I was putting the thing in my phone.
Yep, no, you're good. Yes, so the 2 years of monitoring, to ensure that the area described becomes wetland. At least at a 1-to-1 ratio. Or not less than previously approved. I keep changing it, I'm sorry. Monitoring.
So there's two conditions.
Monitoring placards, and can we just have like a finding about the DCR variance?
Yes. I'll email Alan, just ask him to send me a copy.
I
for the
horribly
file.
might have it.
Oh, great. Yeah, usually he's really good about sending it, so I don't know if maybe it's just gotten.
I think cause I
Down in
was
the
talking
mail?
to him about that in the logging thing and everything else. Alright. Is there anything else? I do have it, I'm gonna forward it to you.
Thank you.
Motion to issue the order as discussed.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in roll call? Favor, roll call, that one?
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson, I.
Keen and I.
Bjork and I.
Dan's aye. Alright, that one is set. There wasn't any others we need to issue, right? We already did the ORAD. We scheduled the site visit. Vacancy on the commission, resignation of Peter Crane. So I think we all got the email. Fortunately, Peter has resigned. I just also wanted to take a quick thank you for his time on the board, since I know he can hear as well. I think he's put a lot of hours, a lot of time, much like Joe did. So it's a lots of knowledge, but there is a vacancy now. So if anyone knows anyone interested, suggest they come to a meeting, submit a letter of interest, go to the Toe Jam band,
Ice cream after.
ice cream social
I don't know if they
after.
need the ice cream. Yeah, pretty pumped.
They don't need more sugar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I lost we voted for officers, so you're chair, Jared's
chair.
vice chair?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Alright,
You weren't here.
I think I was, I just
I
forgot.
think you were here.
I was here.
it's like I think we tried to do it with everybody.
I don't know when I'm here and when I'm not here, Skip.
Physically, you might have been.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't
enough.
keep
He's getting me
each
back. so I
town
can say hi to him.
correct in my brain. It's really difficult. Alright, the last order, correspondence, certificate of compliance for Brice Estates, no action needed. So just as an FYI, we kind of discussed it earlier, they've submitted their request for COC to DEP since they have the superseding permit. So basically, if the commission either approves it and someone appeals it, or if we deny it and then they appeal it, they can appeal it to DEP because we don't have a local bylaw. And DEP issues a superseding order of conditions. So when they do that, then they're in charge of the COC as well. So that's going through them. I'm assuming they're waiting for more of that documentation before they issue the file number. So we'll see where that goes, but nothing we have to
Which
do.
phases is that for? Is it 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just curious.
We
I'm
won't
still trying to
have
get the
any
phases
say.
straight on that one.
What?
So that was all handled by
DEP.
DEP.
Yeah.
Yep, because they have the superseding.
And if their 4 and 5 order of conditions hadn't expired, wasn't that under
Yeah.
DEP as well?
Yep, so that was under DEP, so because it expired, they have to at least start with us one way or another, whether we approve or deny, someone might appeal, yada yada. So I think it'll be interesting where it ends up. I don't think, the butters quite aren't the same, so I don't think it'd necessarily be a resident appealing at this time, but you never know. Or a DEP can actually appeal it themselves as well. If they don't like our decision, they can reserve their right to, is it appeal? What's the word?
I forget the process, but essentially,
Yeah, they step in.
they take over and say, we're gonna issue the order, not you. Yeah.
So they can also do that if they don't like what we say, which is fair.
This is an appeal, right?
Screw it up on purpose,
It's
so
like
we don't have to
appeal,
do it.
yeah,
It is, yeah.
yeah. Just start denying things,
So go up to DEP.
Just let them do it.
Just let them do it. Public comment. Is there any public comment from any attendee at the meeting? Okay. Other business, just as an FYI, Alan Rantala also did reach out to me because one of the forest cutting operations on Barrack Hill Road caused a plume of sediment into, is that Whitehall Pond? So we reached out to the state forester, so they're, I think, kind of addressing it between DCR and forestry. I haven't really gotten any update. Forestry hadn't seen anything, but one of Alan's team members, when they were out, had noticed that there was kind of silt going down the road and kind of putting a plume into Whitehall Pond. So they're following up on that. So as of now, there's no action I think we have to take at this point, but to keep an eye on it if you're in that area. The forester said that the operation is completed, even though they still had logs and trucks going, so I was a little confused on that one. So just an FYI, if you're in the area, definitely take a stop by, put some eyes on it. I think that is all that I had, unless there's anything else.
Did you hear back from the DPW about Bethany Drive?
So he actually, I'm very sorry, I forgot to update you guys. So Chris did go down there. He said, confirm what you said, it was designed on purpose that way. He actually met with the property owner that had originally called. They talked some things through and he felt like they kind of left things in a good place, I guess. So he said, to redesign that area or to put some sort of, storm drain or catch basin in, he's not sure that would resolve it, because that's how it was designed, was to go into the water like that.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to email you guys back on that, but he did go down.
Thank you for following up on that, or following through on that. Oh.
You need a motion?
I
to
will
adjourn?
definitely accept a motion to adjourn, it's 7:14. Oh, I'm sorry, did you have a comment?
No, that's okay. I I heard who's Jenna. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Jenna Prishka. I actually also work with DCR. Since Alan wasn't going to be able to make this meeting, I sat in here.
Oh, perfect. Do you know if
Yeah.
he's heard anything back on the Barrack Hill Road forest cutting?
So I don't know if he's had an update other than their final, or they had sent something in saying that they were ready for a final inspection.
Yeah.
That's, the turbidity was going into Long Pond North Basin.
Okay.
There, it's right next to Whitehall Pond. But, yeah, as of Friday, they still were active on the site, so I don't know.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
It's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Thanks for attending. Do you have anything else? Do you have questions for us or?
No, I don't think so. I took some notes for Ellen, so.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for joining. I had a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by roll call?
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson, aye.
Keenan, I.
Bjorklund, aye.
Dan's aye. We are adjourned 7:15.